Hey, it's Barry Wilson with Wilson Auto Repair. I'm showing a picture of a 65 Mustang rear brake shoe assembly still on the car. And I'm narrating this so you could get a good view of actually what it all looks like without me standing in the way. Now you can see that we're getting ready to take these brake shoes off. And here you can see with this tool that you can buy, it removes the upper spring by connecting on the stud right at the top. And as you twist it, it releases the spring and then it falls loose. And as you can see here, he's struggling a little bit because the back end of that spring fits tightly into the brake shoe. Once it's off, then we're going to go to the other side and remove the other spring. And these are the upper springs that hold the shoes to the retainer stud, as you can see right at the very top of the brake system on the backing plate. You see that little stud that's sticking out there. He's removed now the spring, and you can see that little, I would call that a washer, but it's actually there so the springs don't rub on the brake shoe itself. Now we've got that part of it loose, and we're going to go down to the bottom side with a special tool that you use to remove the side retainers. And they look like nails that you flatten on the end, and there are two springs, retainers like washers on each side of it, and you twist it again and line it up so that the washer comes out of the, I would call the nail on the side. And you kind of have to be able to look inside of that just to see how you see that little nail right there with the flat side on it. You can see that you have to remove that by lining that all up. Now we're going to remove the shoes and pull them off. And that right there we've removed the park brake bar that equalizes the pressure on both shoes when you set the park brake. And at the bottom, he's removing the self-adjuster or the adjuster that you adjust to make the brakes tighter after you get it all back together. And you can see the green spring in there that holds on to the self-adjuster right there that adjusts the brakes as you back up and apply them. And then what's left hanging on is the brake shoe lever that goes to the park brake. And at the top, you can see the horseshoe clip. And at the bottom, you can see where the spring attaches to it, which is part of the cable that end up attaching to your park brake handle. And now we're down. We just laid all these parts out so you can look at them and see what each part looks like as we took them off, and we just kind of laid them in an order there so you can get an idea of what all parts you might need to put it back together. Now we're putting it back together. That was quick, wasn't it? And we're putting the side retainers back on again with a nail that has the little flat end on it. And you take you have to be really adept at doing this, and he's probably nervous because we're filming him, but you can see that he's trying to hold that spring back, hold the shoe up, and look for his tool. That's what he's looking for right now. Pretty funny to watch somebody else do this. And there he is doing the other side now. So he puts the one washer on, then he puts the spring on, then he takes this outside washer and lines it up with the nail that's sticking through so that it'll go through the slot on the washer. See a little slot in there? And then he uses that tool to twist it. On the back side, he holds the nail with his finger so it doesn't come back out. Once he twists it, you can see it's locked it down. It's a good way to put it back together. Now you've got it where you can control it. He's pushing the shoes together and making sure that the ears are in the wheel cylinder, which is the round part right at the top. You can kind of see how he's adjusting that to make it all fit. At the same time, he's putting the equalizer bar back in for the park brake with on the left side a spring. And now we're going to put the retaining springs back on, and he's forgot to put the big fat washer, and now he's going to put it on there. The T-washer, here we go. He's looking for it. There we go. He's going to put that on. He's got it on upside down, so we'll have to make sure he gets that straight. And he's put the self-adjuster cable on. So now you can see what it looks like. He's got that self-adjuster, or that upside down, that flat bar washer upside down. It actually helps the shoes recenter this. So if you see the ears that are sticking out, so that's a good example of what happens when you get something on upside down. It needs to be flipped over so the shoes will come back on to the retaining stud smoothly. That's part of what they do there. Plus, it also keeps the shoes from binding up against the spring itself. Now that's the self-adjuster cable, and the little horseshoe that it's going around keeps it lined up. and he's putting the other brake shoe on with the retaining springs. Now the other thing you want to do after you do that is just grab those springs with a pair of pliers and squeeze them together so that you see how they're kind of apart. I always reattach them and pull them together. And now at the bottom he's putting the lower spring on and the self-adjuster. And he's going to put that spring right in that self-adjuster. If we can, hope I can see where the cable goes in. There's a little place to hook it. And then the spring hooks to the self-adjuster. Some people like to put that on first. That's my preference. I put the bottom on and then kind of squeeze it out because it's hard to get that spring back on there without having the shoes off of the car. You can see he's struggling to get it on right there because you have to pull on it pretty hard. See, that's not an easy thing to do. I usually do that. Oh, he's strong. Look at that. He got it in there. I usually do it off the car first and then put the shoes on the backing plate with the studs and with the washers. So now we're looking to see if he got that done. Yeah, I think he got it on. Nope. Yep, it's on. See there? It's all tightened up. Down at the bottom, the little cylindrical thing with the stars is the self-adjuster. And it's all back together except that one washer at the top's on upside down. I'll go out there and look at that right now to make sure we got it on right. Hope this helps you a lot. You know, that's what we do this for, is to try to let you have something to watch so that you can put your brakes on at your house, in your garage, and have a good time on a Saturday afternoon working on your Mustang brakes. I'm Barry Wilson with Wilson Auto Repair. Subscribe to our account if you will, please. That'll help us get out there and let people know that we're doing this to help other Mustang owners put on their own brakes.